And I just feel like such a slacker because I don't have a baby blanket finished yet. Hi, it's Sonia here with The Pretty Stitch. Welcome to my channel. If this is your first time joining me, I'm so happy to have you here. So today is going to be another update video. I am currently doing a series called Bust My Stash, and what that means is I have a lot of yarn. I have a lot of yarn, and I'm trying to see how much I can make in a year without buying more yarn. So each month I feature a bin of yarn and then I see what I can make out of it, and I also pull from other bins because sometimes I just have little bits of yarn and I can't make an entire project out of like a little tiny ball of yarn, so I might pull from another bin that has, that'll coordinate with that color of the little ball of yarn and try to make something out of it. So today is going to be one of those update videos where I update you on my progress of how much yarn that I've used up, so I'll show you the August bin because we are in September, which, holy cow, like August went by like that. It just, in a snap, it was just, I couldn't believe it's just gone. And we're in September, so fall is right around the corner. I know a lot of people love fall, and fall is okay. It's fine. It's nice. I mean, I love it when the trees, change colors and the leaves, they look so beautiful. But I love summer. I'm really sad to see it go. I am a summer girl. Summer, 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 summer all the time. But it's, I live in a state where we have seasons, and now we're going to have fall. And fall is wonderful, as I said. But then that means that winter is around the corner. Not happy about winter. But it is what it is. So today I'll show you well, I don't really have any. I have some things that I'm working on, but one is top secret, so I'm not going to share about that right now, other than it's top secret. And I have some finished projects that I will show you. Not a whole lot finished, but there's a couple things that I was able to finish. So why don't we get started on the one project I am currently working on, and it's on the road to being finished. I was hoping that I could have it finished by the time this video came out, but like I said, August went by so quickly and it's been really busy. We went away in August. We were in Florida. We went to Indian Shores, which was amazing. Had a great time. We had amazing weather. The ocean was so warm. We were there in the beginning of August, which I probably shared a little bit in the last video. And then I got an unexpected invitation for another vacation to Chincoteague, which I was not planning on going. It was kind of a last minute thing that my mom planned, and so she invited me and my youngest daughter to go because my one daughter, she graduated from college and got a real job, so yay! So she is in the workforce now. Real adulting is happening for her. So she can't obviously take off when she just started a brand new job. And then my son, he started back to college. And so you really can't just say, hey, I want to go on vacation. See ya, to his professor. So my youngest one's still in high school, and she can miss a couple days of high school. So yeah, that was something unexpected. Also, another exciting event that happened for us in August, which hampered my crocheting knitting time, was my oldest daughter. She got engaged. So now we have a wedding to plan, and there's not going to be a lot of turnaround time. So it's going to be a crazy, busy couple months because she wants to get married this winter, and the reason why is because her husband-to-be is in the service, and because of what's going on with him in the service, there's just not a lot of time to be planning things. And his commanding officer basically said, if you want to do some big life events, you have this short little window of when to do them so we can get paperwork done and all that jazz. I don't know a lot about the military because I was never in the military. My husband wasn't in the military, so this is a little bit new for us. And so yeah, we have a really short turnaround time to plan a wedding. So yeah, it's going to be nuts. But at least it's something happy. It's not a funeral, because I feel like we've been through a lot of funerals the last couple years with my husband. Sorry, I got interrupted by a child who needed help with something. But yeah, so now we have this wedding to plan. So that's going to probably interfere with my knitting and crocheting time. But you know, we're going to make it work, and then we're going to have the holidays. It's not going to be a dull moment, but that's okay. I'm really happy to have something happy in our lives for a change. So now I will show you the one project that is in progress. So I finally finished this knitted miter square. I had showed you a couple other ones that I did, and I've been knitting these guys up so that I can piece them together to make a blanket. And I finally finished all of the squares that I want to make. So now I have to figure out how to attach them because I'm used to attaching squares with crocheting, because I consider myself a much more skilled crocheter than knitter. I often call myself a crocheter who can knit some. I just don't feel very confident with my knitting, but I'm getting better. So I finally had enough to somehow figure out how to attach these. And like I said, I've done it before with crochet blocks, but with knitting, I've never done it. So I'm going to watch some YouTube videos, and we're going to figure out how to attach these guys. I think it's going to be pretty, and then I'm going to knit a border around it. Once I have them all attached, I'm just going to probably work in the round and just knit some kind of border. I'm not sure what. Something very simple is what we're going to do. So hopefully, I was hoping that when you saw the September update that this guy would be done, like I could just woo a whole blanket, but that's not the case. So let's shoot for October and see if we can get this guy complete in a blanket so that I can donate it to the I am part of a knit crochet ministry at my church. I'm actually in charge of it, and we're knitting and crocheting baby blankets for new babies in our church. And I haven't contributed any yet. The ladies, I actually have some I'm going to show you today. I'm just so proud of my group. They have been working so hard and have been making such pretty things. So I want to show some of those for you a little bit later, so you can see all of the beautiful blankets that they've done, all of that hard work that they've been doing. And I just feel like such a slacker because I don't have a baby blanket finished yet. But I will soon. I have a bunch in progress, and I have a feeling they're all going to be done at the same time, which is not a bad thing. So something that I talked about in my last video, maybe I showed it, I'm not sure, or maybe it was almost done, I can't remember. Like I said, this whole summer has just like, whew, it's gone, and it's just been 100 miles an hour stuff going on. I also had water issues. Maybe I talked about that in the last one. I had brown or salty water. Yeah, that was not good. We were in Florida, and my son's calling me. He stayed home. Mom, the water's brown. I'm like, great. What do you want me to do about it? So I had to get that fixed. That was a very expensive fix, but you know, I'm thanking the Lord that we were able to fix it, and we have safe, clean drinking water. I have a well, and what was going on was I have very high iron content in my water, and the filter that I had to filter all that stuff out was just not enough to handle my particular water situation. So I had a filter that was maybe like this big, and it was getting dirty within like 2 days, which is not normal. So then I had to get a filter like this big to handle my nasty water. And then I got a separate drinking system, plus some things weren't up to code with it. There was a possible problem of sewer contamination. Yeah. And it just needed a massive overhaul, this system. So it's all done. I've got a UV lamp. So if anybody that knows anything about water systems, I have a new UV lamp to kill any bacteria. I have a pea drain installed. Didn't know what that was, but now I have one. It's up to code, so hopefully I can stay in my house a while. But if I need to sell, like, the water is going to be a-okay. The inspector's not going to be like, we got to change this. No, we're good. We're good. So that's good. You know, costs a lot, but at least now I have safe water, because you know you have to have safe water. That's just, there's some things you can go without, like my garbage disposal broke about 3 weeks ago. I can do without a garbage disposal. Would I like to have it fixed? And they're not that expensive to buy a new one. And I think what happened with the old one was it's 8 years old. And we didn't buy it. We've only lived in this house for 4 years. It came with the house. But I do know that the motors can burn out. And I just think that's what happened. Again, I'm not an expert on garbage disposals. But I have a feeling that's probably what happened. Of course, that happened too when I was in Florida. All the things happen when I'm away, yeah. And so I could probably get another one because I'd replaced my water system, which did cost me thousands of dollars, where garbage disposals maybe like $120. But then I would need to find somebody to install it, and because for those of you that don't know, my husband died 2 years ago, and he would have been able to install a new one, no problem. But now I'd probably have to find someone to pay somebody to do it, and I just don't feel like dealing with that right now. So as like I said, I can do without a garbage disposal. That is not a necessity, but water is. So enough of that. You don't need to know about my drama. But anyway, so I might have showed this, but I'm not sure. So this is a top that I made, and the pattern is up on my channel. So if you're interested in making one of these little summer tops, even though summer's almost gone, but I'm sure it's summer somewhere in the world, right? The seasons, you know, like when I'm in the United States, so isn't it like when I'm in the US, then another part of the world it's winter, when I'm experiencing summer, and then when we're experiencing winter, they're experiencing summer. Isn't that how it works? So it's always summer somewhere. But anyway, if you would like to make one of these, you can make this to fit any size, and you can customize this too. So I made this with stripes because I wanted to make it all in blue, but I realized halfway in that I did not have enough blue, so I had to get creative. Like I said, didn't want to buy more yarn, so I found this off-white and I just made stripes. I actually really like it. I think it's really pretty. You can make this if you wanted it longer. Like I'm very high-waisted, so on me it hits right at my waist, and it's not like a crop top on myself, but on somebody else that, you know, had a different body type, this would probably be like more of a crop top style. So if you don't like that style, you can definitely, this is completely customizable. You can make this to fit and suit your body type. So you can, you know, definitely make it longer. If you wanted a longer waistband, a shorter waistband, you can definitely do that. You can, you know, this is like a little decorative like ruffle thing. You can make this without it. You can also make the straps like here. I mean, this covers it, but if you wanted a thicker strap, you can definitely do that with this pattern, and I go over that in the video, the tutorial on how to do that. So yeah, it's not a difficult project. If you've never made clothing before, you might want to give this one a try. And I will be having a written pattern for the top as well. I'm kind of been a little bit slow getting my written patterns out. I do have some 18-inch doll patterns that I'm currently working on. I did a Snow White dress, and if you don't know what an 18-inch doll is, if you've heard of American Girl dolls, they're 18-inch dolls, and there's all different types of 18-inch dolls, but we have American Girl dolls. So I am making a series of princess dresses, so I've made a Snow White one, and I'm currently working on Cinderella. So the Snow White video is out, and I am working on the written pattern. I do want to get that tested. I just haven't had a chance to like rustle up some testers yet because I've been going away a lot, which is wonderful. I never went on vacation when I was married because my husband hated vacation. So now since he passed, I've been able to go away. I mean, I would rather him be here. I'd rather be able to him here and still be staying home, but since, you know, he's not here anymore, and I've had these opportunities to go away, and that's been really, really nice. So I just haven't had a block of time where I'm around to really focus on testing, which is like what I like to do when I run a crochet test, so that my testers, I'm available for my crochet testers, because I think that's fair. So hopefully, yeah, when I get within the next few weeks, I'm going to get that one tested. I'm still working on editing the Cinderella dress. That's a really big pattern because there's a lot of pieces with that to edit, and I'm currently writing it as well, and then I'm going to need to edit the written pattern again, and so it takes a while to get those written patterns out. I don't like to just kind of mass produce them, just bang them out, because I do find that there's a lot of work out there that people just aren't taking the time to properly get their patterns tested and edited, and there's a lot of patterns that have errors out there. Not all of them. There's some wonderfully written patterns, and it's a shame because a lot of people, if they just would have taken the time to just go that little extra mile of making sure their pattern is accurate, you know, I think, you know, that would really help them out, because some people make some beautiful items and then the pattern isn't accurate, and that just isn't good. It's frustrating for the buyer when they're buying something and then they can't make it because there's a bunch of errors in it because they just didn't take the time to have it, you know, all the bugs taken out. That's sort of how I feel when I write a pattern. Like, I have the initial pattern, then I need to get the bugs out of it, because you try to be as accurate as you can, but you're only one person, and I know for myself, like, if there's an error in the pattern, if I'm just reading my own work, my brain will automatically correct it and it won't catch that mistake. So it really helps to have an extra set of eyes to go into it, and then they'll be like, oh, you have this typo here, or this doesn't make any sense, or whatever. So that I find that to be really, really helpful. All right, enough about that. So my next object that I'm going to show you is kind of been a little anticipated. A lot of people have been asking me to get this out, and it's done. I made 2 of them. Actually, I really love them, and I have the tutorial. I just put it out, and there will be a written pattern for this one too, and I think it turned out really, really pretty. So here we go. Woohoo! Here she is. Here is the shawl. It's finally done. This one I made with linen yarn, so I'm trying to show it off here. So maybe I'll just, there we go. So this one I made with linen yarn. I actually have the label. So here's the label. I'm just going to read it. It's called Lino. It's 100% linen, and doesn't say the type of yarn it is, but it's 100% linen. But I definitely think it's like a fingering weight yarn. And this guy, she just blocked like a dream. Like, this was just such a pleasure to block this. Like, when I worked with it, the linen was a little bit stiff, but then once I actually hand washed it. That's how I usually like to block my items. I hand wash them, try to get out as much water. I wrap it up in a towel and I just let it, you know, I just kind of step on it actually to soak up as much water as possible. Then I just lay it out flat, usually on top of a towel, and just reshape it. So I'll just, you know, kind of pull at it and just pull on this, and you know, it's a crescent shawl, so that it's, you know, a nice beautiful shape, and that the stitches are nice and opened up. And then I just let it air dry and she's good to go. And I'm just thrilled. This thing, she really just blocked like a dream. I did want it to be bigger because I just wanted a bigger shawl, but I ran out of yarn. So this is as big as she's gonna get, but I still think it's plenty big enough for me. I have little shoulders, so it's definitely works for me. I'm really, really happy with it. It's definitely softened up with just that blocking. And I know with linen, the more you wear it, the softer it gets. And yeah, this project I'm really, really happy with. So if you want to make one for yourself, there is a tutorial up there. There's only a 2-row repeat. I mean, you have a couple rows, setup rows, but then the body of this pattern, so this part here, just 2 rows you have to repeat, and it's pretty easy to memorize. You know, you can, it's a portable project. I actually took it with me. My daughter got her braces off, so I was in that orthodontics office for probably over an hour. And I brought the project in there, and I didn't have to worry about written directions because, you know, just a 2-row repeat, and worked on it the entire time. And then there are edging rows. There's only 3 edging rows, and they're pretty simple as well. So I made this one, and if you've seen the video, you will know, let me get it. I made another one, this red guy. And this one's made out of wool and also a fingering weight. This one is actually a little bit smaller because I only had one skein of this. It's like a merino wool and yarn, and I don't know the name of it. It's actually was locally spun where I bought it, so I don't think it's mass-produced yarn at all. I got it at this local yarn store in this town that I used to live in. I usually visit like once a year in the summertime, and I went in June. Actually, last year, not this year. I bought the yarn last year, and I bought this beautiful red, and I wasn't sure. I thought I was going to make a cowl out of it, but I just thought, you know, it'd be really pretty to make this shawl out of it. And again, this thing, using the wool, it blocked really well. So I do suggest, if you want to make this pattern, is use a yarn with a natural fiber in it. That will give you your best results. If you want to use acrylic, this project is one that just begs to be blocked. If you want it to look its best, it really needs to be blocked. And acrylic yarn does not block that well. You can do it, but it just doesn't block that well. What'll happen is you'll block it, it dries, and it doesn't hold its shape. Where if you're using a natural fiber, it will hold its shape. So if you don't like wool, you don't have to use wool. You can use cotton, linen, bamboo, alpaca. Now, if you really, really, really love acrylic, again, I use acrylic all the time. I'm not saying, you know, I'm not one of those yarn snobs. It's like, no acrylic. If you really want to use acrylic, they do make yarns that have acrylic blends. So what I mean by that is they would have like acrylic cotton mixed together, acrylic wool mixed together. That would probably be fine too. So if you are dead set on using acrylic, get acrylic that has a natural fiber mixed in with it so that you can, you know, I just want you to be able to make a shawl that will, you know, look its best. That's why I'm kind of being a stickler on that. So yeah, I used one with linen, I used one with wool. Silk would be a good choice. I mean, heck, cashmere, and cashmere is really expensive. But hey, if you've got the money to use cashmere, go for it. It would make a beautiful shawl. So those are all the projects that I have to show you for this month that I made. But I wanted to show you some of the blankets that my ladies have been working hard on. And I just thought it would be nice to feature them on the channel. So I'll go through real quick just to show you a couple. So my first one actually is going to be going to its recipient probably within the next 2 weeks. It's this baby blanket here. It's a knitted blanket. I think it's super pretty. And somebody asked me at my church, they know an Amish family. We do live near some Amish, and they're having their first baby. I think it's a neighbor of hers. And she doesn't knit or crochet, but you know, they do need some things. And the Amish will dress their babies in, they call us the English. So they will usually, a lot of times, they're tiny little babies, they'll dress them in English clothes. And they'll use, you know, colorful blankets, things like that. So she wanted to gift that family a blanket and asked me, you know, if there was one that was more gender neutral because they don't know what they're having. So I picked this one. I think it would be nice for a boy or a girl. I mean, there is purple in it, but you know, so what? There's purple, orange, blue, white, and yellow. And so I think it's going to be really nice for an Amish family. And also it's super easy wash and wear. This was made all out of garter stitch, and it looks like it was like a corner to corner type of style, which I don't know how to do, but it'll be a perfect blanket to get a lot of use out of. So this guy will be going to its new home soon. So I have a couple that I'll show you really fast. So this one, I just love this one. I don't know if it's showing up really well on camera, but it kind of just reminds me of like sherbet or ice cream, like cotton candy ice cream. It's super pretty. It's made with, I think it's crocheted, and I think they just used like a basic shell stitch, but I love shell stitches. And even if you're just using a very simple shell stitch, it can make an absolutely beautiful blanket. So this one will be going eventually. I work with another group at my church, so they usually just text me or call me and say, hey, we need a blanket for a baby boy or a baby girl or gender neutral, and then I kind of pick from what I have and off it goes. So here's another one that somebody made. It's just it's a pink and white one. So again, I'm not sure how well it's showing up. And this one was also just made with a basic shell stitch, but again, super beautiful. So you don't have to go like super crazy elaborate if you don't want to, and you can still have a beautiful blanket. And my next one, this is more like a gender neutral one. And this is one, my dear friend made this one. One of my friends that I've known since I was a teenager. She did not grow up where I live now. We both didn't grow up around where I live now. And she was 2 hours away, and she recently moved 10 minutes from where I live now. So it's so great. And she started coming to my knit and crochet group. So she made this one. And it's like peaches and brown, and I think she used just the linen stitch, and then she did like a ribbed border, and it's a super pretty. The yarn is really soft, so this one eventually will be going to its new home. So I have 2 more to show you. So here is a blue and white one. This one's beautiful. I really love this one a lot. Again, just using shell stitches, which I love shell stitches. They're probably like my favorite crochet stitches to do. I think they're so pretty. And this one will be great for, I mean, it could go for a girl or a boy. It doesn't really matter, but I feel like we have a lot more girl blankets right now. So this will be in the boy category until we can make some more boy ones. But this is just beautiful. It's a little bit heavier than the other ones, so maybe this would be a good one if a baby was born in the wintertime. And my last one that I'm going to show you is a knitted blanket. It's right here. It's just a little tiny receiving blanket. This one would be really nice for in the car or in the stroller, or even some kids when they get a little bit older, they like those smaller, you know, they call them like loveys or whatever. So this one would be a great one for that. Very portable, really easy to carry around. I mean, I had blanket kids, so I totally understand about the whole lovey thing. And it would have been hard. Fortunately, all my kids, their loveys were smaller blankets, but I've seen some where these kids have these big blankets and they want to haul around these big blankets. So, you know, this would be a great one for, you know, if you encourage your child, if they're like one of those kids that is a lovey kid, it'd be like, choose this one. It's easier to bring places. But this is a knitted one. She did a beautiful job knitting this one. It looks like a combination of stockinette and some kind of, I'm not sure what the stitch is, but it's really pretty. Like I said, I'm not a super skilled knitter. And then it looks like she used a garter stitch border. But yeah, really beautiful work here. So I'm really fortunate that I have such talented people in my knit and crochet group. It's been really fun seeing what people make. So my next part of my video, I'm going to show you my August bin. You're going to see what little progress I've made. Like I said, I've hardly made anything. I feel like I've been treading water. Like I'm just like stitching in place. And so, you know the saying like running in place, you know, you're not getting anywhere. That's sort of how I feel right now with my yarn situation. I've made things, but then I look at it, I'm like, have I really made anything? But I have. And then I will show you the September bin. Okay, so here we have the August bin, and I'm sorry for the noise of my AC. It has been super hot where we are, even though we are heading into fall season. It has been toasty warm, so this AC has been running like crazy. So yeah, I haven't gotten too much done, so I wasn't able to do too much with this August bin as I went on a last minute vacation, which was really great. But yeah, here it is. So again, it probably doesn't look that much different, but now I will show you the September bin. Okay, so here we have the September bin, or it's actually a crate of yarn that I have, and we have in here some abandoned projects. So this was some kind of knitting project that didn't go well. Then I have this weird, I don't know, it's almost got these weird sparkle flecks. I mean, it's okay. I need to, this would be one that you would use a simple stitch with, because you couldn't do cables or anything like that because you would never see them. And then this is a nice big ball of it's like neon pink. It doesn't really show up. And then we have white, And this is a blanket that I started, a ripple blanket. I mean, I kind of like it. It was going to be for my niece, but then I stopped making it because I wasn't like totally loving it. So I still want to make her something, but I kind of want to rethink what I'm doing there. So I stopped making it because I just was, you know, sometimes you start a project and you're like, it's okay. And then as you go farther along, you're like, I really don't like this that much. So yeah, it's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just, I don't know. I think it's kind of blah. So I want to redo that and make her something that I'm really going to be happy with. But here we go. Here's the September bin or crate. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please like and subscribe, and thank you so much for watching.
Then I have some finished projects. And I have some finished projects that. Why can't I say that? Okay. Try that again. Why don't we get started on going to its recipients. My knitting, but I'm getting better, and I do really. Are the dishes going in the dishwasher? Yes, they are. They are. You got to be kidding me! Why? You didn't think they were? I have to put them back. They're clean. There's a lot. Oh my goodness, child. There's not that many. You actually have to put them away and then wash the other ones. You can do it. I believe in you. That'll be in the bloopers.